Summertime conjures up hot days, late nights, and roller coaster rides. And answering the call, the themed entertainment industry, which is currently worth an estimated $76 billion and projected to reach more than $120 billion by 2033. The leaders, Disney, Universal, Merlin Entertainment, and Chimelong Group of China, all generated experience revenues in the billions last year. But Disney is a clear standout, booking $34 billion in revenue alone, which is almost 3 times the combined revenue of its smaller competitors. And holding it all together, fictional characters and immersive storytelling.
Intellectual property really has become the cornerstone of the modern theme park industry, and we've seen them grow exponentially through the years.
Dennis Spiegel is a theme park expert who's been working in the industry for more than 50 years.
There have been some very interesting situations developed through the years. Disney bought Marvel, Spider-Man, Iron Man, all of those wonderful characters. Those characters were already being used at Universal Studios Florida, a couple of miles away from Disney World. So in that agreement, Disney cannot use the Marvel characters in Orlando. In England, there's a Harry Potter Studios tour, which is very close to where the Universal Studio Park will be. But at this point in time, they haven't announced if Harry Potter is going to be allowed to be used in that.
Now, other entertainment companies want in on the action, leveraging their most popular IP.
Some of my favorite shows are Netflix and have been for a long time.
The people here just bring the energy.
I love Netflix. I'm obsessed with Stranger Things, Squid Game, The Witcher, anything and everything they release.
We realize there's really a way here to bring fans closer to the stories that they love through live experiences.
As Netflix expands its library of original content, the streaming company is looking beyond its platform. Since 2020, Netflix has incorporated characters from some of its biggest hits into live experiences, culminating in permanent themed entertainment centers.
I'd consider Netflix House like a totally new dimension of storytelling because we'll be able to really keep it fresh, and sort of maintain that same pace of cultural impact and conversation that people see from our movies and TV shows.
Josh Simon is Netflix's Vice President of Consumer Products. He's in charge of a new theme park-style venture called Netflix House.
Later this year, we'll open our first 2 Netflix House locations, one at the King of Prussia Mall outside of Philadelphia and one at the Galleria in Dallas. We recently announced that we're also going to be opening a location in Las Vegas in 2027 as well.
All of those experiences are about engaging with fans and then taking all that information and saying, okay, we are ready to launch permanent experiences.
Marion Lee is Netflix's Chief Marketing Officer.
We'll have Replay, which is sort of that concept of an old school arcade, but it will be all obviously Netflix shows and movies and games related to that.
A Netflix Bites restaurant and bar, a retail store, a theater.
And then we'll have a mini golf, Squid Game and Wednesday in one, and then One Piece and something else in the other, and Stranger Things.
It's really a great way for fans to experience those hero moments from their favorite Netflix movies and TV shows.
We are not trying to fit ourselves into one box.
Netflix does not break out sales of consumer products and live experiences, but in 2024, the company surpassed 300 million paying memberships, grew revenue by 16%, while its operating income exceeded $10 billion for the first time ever. And in the past 5 years, Netflix has created more than 400 experiences in 300-plus cities across the globe. In a world of screens, live experiences appear to be in demand. But will they sustain viewers' interest over the longer term?
When we're thinking about which live experiences to bring to life, there's usually a couple ways we think about it. First is we really follow fan passion. We see this incredible love for stories all over the world. The other thing is we really look for our experiences to tell a new dimension of a story. So, we're interested in movies and TV shows that we know fans want to explore in new ways.
One of the key critical things that allows us to really set ourselves apart is that we have a rabid fan base. We have 1.2 billion fans across all of our social media accounts around the world. And they are telling us what they want to do. We can hear what they're talking about, what kinds of products they're buying, what kinds of food that they're eating whenever they go. And then it allows us to take that information and invest into future experiences that we can place all around the world.
Even before Netflix entered the picture, the theme park industry was a kind of survival of the fittest scenario. Smaller companies struggling to keep up with changing consumer tastes, the biggest players under pressure to roll out new attractions, highlighting the latest technology, and everyone, no matter their size, spending continuously to give visitors a reason to keep coming back.
Typically, a park will fail because either the market isn't ready, it's not a good concept. I tell a lot of people in our industry, just because you have an idea doesn't mean it's a good one. And we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of theme parks.
What do the big guys not understand? What do they get wrong?
Historically, the local amusement park went from being a 2 to 92 family park to a thrill park. I think our industry got addicted to the growth that a roller coaster brings. But what happened was it really changed the demographic of the park. They reduced the amount of entertainment, they reduced the amount of show, the culinary experience was reduced because they were getting the growth by just focusing on roller coasters and thrill rides. And so now they've kind of maxed out where the thrill ride can take them. And you've seen this with Six Flags and some of the changes they're trying to make to move back towards broader family experiences. So I would say there were some mistakes made that brought them to where they are today.
COVID-19 dealt a big blow to theme parks, forcing them to shut down for weeks and sometimes months. And that's exactly when Netflix made its move into live experiences.
We were looking for a way to bring Stranger Things to life. People were spending a lot of time, on their own, in their cars. We took over a couple 100,000 square foot parking garage downtown LA and basically created like a pop-up theme park attraction.
Well, we haven't seen this really. I mean, this is our entertainment industry from that standpoint. The streaming is really changing. It's bringing us that shorter story.
For our industry, it really is about how do we define ourselves as a live experience. There's a lot of people who feel that virtual experiences are going to become bigger than real life experiences. And so we've got to make sure that we continue to make great experiences so that doesn't really happen.
Andrew Wexler is CEO of Herschend, the largest family-owned theme attractions company in North America. Herschend's first attraction was Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri in 1960. It has since built a portfolio of family-friendly entertainment brands from the Harlem Globetrotters exhibition basketball team to Dollywood in the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. In contrast to Netflix, Herschend's Silver Dollar City features IP that's tied to its local history, starting with a cave. How did a cave spawn a theme park?
Hugo and Mary Herschend went on a road trip. They came to Southwest Missouri to the Ozarks to enjoy the beauty, and they did a cave tour here and really fell in love with location, with the cave, with the people, and decided they wanted to make it a summer attraction. So the cave tour was so popular that there were long lines to get in the cave, and they needed to give some people something to do. It's kind of the first instance of line management. So they built this 1880s town on top of the cave so people could be entertained.
Since the 1970s, Herschend has focused on bringing new live shows and rides to Silver Dollar City, while keeping its IP rooted in the area's 1880s lore. As a result, the park feels timeless, which is reinforced by its long-serving staff.
I've been the Vice President of Food Service since 1992, and this is my 50th year. I've started from the ground up, and I'm still here.
It's also got a cult following, with local families making regular pilgrimages generation after generation.
All I know is for my 8th birthday, we went that day. It was my 108th time going, I think.
And I remember a lot of my childhood coming back.
They have some rides at Six Flags, but these rides are like really fun.
We've been coming since we were little ourselves. Like, I don't even remember my first time coming.
Yeah, I don't remember my first time. It's just been always part of our lives.
If you look at most theme parks across America, they were organic. They started off as a petting zoo or a campground, and then they added rides and slowly grew over time. Most successful theme parks are like that. It's really hard to go from 0 to 100 at a theme park today just because of the capital intensity and the the ability to actually draw enough people to make it cash flow positive.
So you're continuously reinvesting in the business. How do you think about return on investment?
So we know what the return is that our shareholders would like on the business. And so we incorporate that in our capital plans. So we do long range plans, so we try and identify what are our projects over the next 10 years. Now, you got to be nimble and flexible. It may change, but within that, what's the impact of that investment and how is it going to grow the park from an attendance perspective?
I think about bigger competitors or peers. Universal, it engages in an IP review every 2 to 3 years, and it looks critically at its own properties. It also does an overall, assessment of the media landscape. What does that look like on your end?
It's about gaps and needs. The IP is just one element of the experience. What are the frictions that make it hard to enjoy the park? Waiting in line, having to walk a certain distance from one place to another. How do you improve that sort of experience? So while it's great they do an IP review, for us it's about experience review and how do we make the experience better.
Theme parks live on repeat visitation, and repeat visitation is generated by what we call CapEx, the dollars that we invest every year. So the new rides and attractions that we put in every year bring the people back.
But this is a capital-intensive business, so how do you plan out how much you're going to spend?
Well, fortunately, our business does generate cash, and so we have a set percentage of the cash that we generate each year that we know is going to go back into capital. So really the debt part is irrelevant when it comes to our CapEx, unless we wanted to make an acquisition or do something that was above and beyond. We really are about that live local experience with the idea that if our purpose as a company is to bring families closer together, having somebody necessarily sit in front of a television is not the best way to do that.